Typically, when we are looking to make a list series video here at Nintendo Prime, it's because we were able to come up with a list concept that felt fresh, original, and interesting to us. Sometimes we think an idea is going to work out way better than it actually does once the research is put in. Today's top 10 is sort of a cross between those two avenues, as we look at the top 10 critically rated Nintendo games of all time. For this list, I took a look at two sites specifically, those being Metacritic and GameRankings.com. I cross-compared their top 10 rated Nintendo games and then adjusted the rankings based on which site had the most reviews for a given game. For the purposes of this list, we are including any game that appeared exclusively on a Nintendo platform that was also published by Nintendo, but are not including any ratings for released or remastered versions of games that were already created during an earlier generation. Sorry, Ocarina of Time 3D, today is not the day for you. Let's get into the top 10 rated Nintendo games of all time. Number 10, Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is one of those games that has a pretty strict love/hate relationship among Nintendo fans. Some, like myself, absolutely adored the motion controls, story, and linearity, while others have had nothing but frustration with the title and think it's one of the lesser Zelda games on the market. However, when it comes to critical acclaim, it somehow made it into the top 10 rated Nintendo games ever released. Number 9. The Wind Waker. The Wind Waker is Nintendo's 9th highest rated game ever released, and it certainly is deserving of a spot in my humble opinion. Of course, this is starting to set a trend, and you have to begin to wonder if critical acclaim is a bit biased towards the Zelda franchise. Out of the thousands of Nintendo published games in existence, we have back-to-back Zelda games kicking off this list. Number 8. Twilight Princess. And here we go again. Is this just a list of the top 10 Zelda games or the top 10 rated Nintendo games of all time? Twilight Princess is an excellent game, no doubt. The Zelda series is one of the most iconic series in all of gaming, and it's clear a huge part of that is the consistent excellence in review scores it seems to garner from the gaming press. Number 7. GoldenEye 007. While this game isn't typically considered a Nintendo game, as the IP rights to GoldenEye and 007 don't belong to Nintendo, it was a game created and developed by then second party Rare Ltd. And was published by Nintendo exclusively on the N64. It is often considered one of the godfathers of first-person shooting games in a 3D space on home consoles, and I'd argue it still stands up today as an excellent experience all around. Number 6. Metroid Prime. The Metroid series has typically always been niche as a low seller that helps spurn a new genre of gaming. It's also typically been an excellent series, and this was no more obvious than it was in Retro Studios' debut with Nintendo in Metroid Prime. As the best-selling Metroid game to date, it modernized an old franchise in a similar fashion that Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64 did for their respective franchises. And to this day, it holds up as arguably the best game in the Metroid franchise. Number 5. Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 stands as one of the key pillars in gaming, especially in the 3D platforming space. It is still today a fan favorite and successfully took the world's most popular plumber and brought that platforming goodness into a 3D realm. It has stood the test of time and now has many asking for an HD remake. Number 4. Breath of the Wild. For a while, Breath of the Wild was in serious contention to be the best rated game of all time. But now that the dust has settled many months later, it sits firmly and undoubtedly in the number 4 spot. It is the only game from the modern era on this list, which includes the current and previous generation, and proves that Nintendo still has it when it comes to making masterpieces, even in 2017. Maybe when we revisit this list in a few years, Super Mario Odyssey may find its way on this list as well. Number 3. Super Mario Galaxy 2. For my money, Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a superior game in comparison to the original, and stands as my favorite Mario game to date. But when it comes to critical reception, it sees itself slotted in the number 3 spot. It's really 3D platforming excellence that many games should take a lesson from. Number 2. Ocarina of Time. At first, I had to double take on this ranking, and it was by far the hardest one to pinpoint. Many sites have Ocarina of Time clearly marked as the best game ever made, but the sheer amount of limited reviews for the game meant I had to side with the site that had the most reviews available in their aggregate for the game. And on that site, that being Game Rankings, Ocarina of Time was not the best ranked game in Nintendo's library. Either way, it's not a discredit to the game itself, as it's Super Mario 64'd the Zelda franchise. Number 1. Super Mario Galaxy. Galaxy stands as Nintendo's most innovative Mario experience since Mario 64, and is arguably more enjoyable. It is critically rated as the best Mario has ever been, and the best Nintendo has ever been. And it's hard to disagree, and this game is another excellent candidate for an HD remaster in the near future. And that's going to do it for the top 10 critically rated Nintendo games of all time. Keep in mind, this list does not represent our own personal top 10, and is based solely on the critical reception on aggregate websites the games received. That being said, I am Nathaniel Rumpfeljantz from Nintendo Prime. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. Subscribe for more videos like this. And if you enjoy this list series or have any ideas for your own list series, of course let us know in the comments below. As always, I will catch you in the next one.